So let's start from employee. Right now there are no records, right? So let me insert few records. Insert into employee values. What are the columns in employee? Describe employee, correct?
Yes.
Describe employee, spelling wrong. Describe employee. So it's EMP ID, MP name and salary, correct?
Yes.
So insert into employee values. I have to give EMP ID is 100. EMP name is ABC. Salary is 1000. Okay. So let's start from employee. Okay, one record is there. Now let me insert one more record. Insert employee. The employee name is DEF. Salary is 2000.
Ramji, can you minimize the screen?
Maximum.
Okay.
Correct. Maximum is all right.
Yeah.
So insert in the employee. EMP ID is 100. Employee name is ABC. Salary is 1000. So let me insert into employee values. Employee ID is 400. EMP name is XYZ. Salary is 2000. So commit. I'm committing all the uncommitted records in the database. Now let me just start from employee. There are 4 records in the employee table, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now what I want to do is I want to update salary of a particular employee. One particular employee is working very good, so I was impressed with his performance. So I want to increase the salary for that particular person. So actually his name, the employee ID is 400. His employee ID is 400. This particular employee is working very good. So I want to increment the salary. So right now he's getting 2000, but I want to make his salary to 5000. Okay. So what is the query I have to write?
Okay.
I want everyone to speak louder and clear.
Can
Update
you
query.
repeat the question, Ramji?
Am I not audible?
Like it is breaking for me.
I'm asking you how to increment the salary of a particular employee from 2000 to 5000. I want to increment this particular employee's salary from 2000 to 5000. What is the query I have to write?
Select star. Sorry, select.
Select means what you
Update.
once again. So Varalakshmi, select means what you're doing. Select query is used for what? Select query is used for what?
To display, like to
But what is my requirement here?
increment it, right?
So
Update
why do
query.
you want to,
Update query.
yeah, why do you want to display it, Varalakshmi? I don't understand. When I ask you to increment, you have to update the data, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm not asking you to display the data. It's already displayed. It's clearly displayed, correct?
yeah.
Why do you want to display it again? I don't understand. So please try to understand the question first. I want to
Yes.
increment the salary from 2000 to 5000. So you have to update. Tell me the syntax. I am waiting for your answer. Update.
Update employee
Employee.
Employee.
salary.
Set salary
Set salary.
Salary. Sorry.
is equal to
Equal to.
Hmm.
4000.
4000. Where student or sorry employee ID
Where employee ID
Where?
is 400.
Is everyone agreed with this query?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to commit the record, correct? Because there is uncommitted record in the database, agreed?
Yes.
So now select start from employee means what will I get?
It will update the
So
salary.
for 400, it update the salary to 4,000, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I want to update the salary for a particular person whose employee ID is 100. Tell me the query. There are 4 employees in my company. There are 4 employees in my company. Out of those 4 employees, one particular employee is working very good. So I want to increment the salary. Okay, and his employee ID is 100. So I want to increment the salary for this particular employee whose employee ID is 100. So tell me how do you write the query?
Update
Update employee.
Update employee.
set
Uh,
salary equal to 4,000, where employee ID is 100.
how many records got updated here?
2 rows.
But
Okay.
I don't want to increment the salary to 2 persons. I want to increment the salary to only one particular
One
person.
particular.
So how do you increment that particular person? Getting it?
Yes.
Because right
Yeah.
now there are 2 persons with the employee ID 100. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
It
This
should be
particular person has employee ID 100. This particular person has employee ID 100. So with the query that you have written, where employee ID equal to 100, so the database will go to the first record. It will check if the employee ID is 100. Yes, employee ID is 100. So it will set the salary to 4,000. It will go to the second record and check if the employee ID is 100. So it is not 100. So it will not update this record. It will go to the third record. It will check if the employee ID is 100. Yes, it is 100. So it will update the record. It will go to the fourth record and it will not update the record. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
total 2 records are updated. But I don't want to give the salary to 2 persons. I don't want to increment the salary to 2 persons. I want to increment the salary to a particular person. So how do I identify that particular person? How do I identify that particular person and give the salary to that person? So can I
usually
say instead of identifying him by the employee ID, can I identify him with the employee name?
the same
Yes.
name was written, no?
Same
ABC.
name is there.
Okay, 1 second. Delete from employee where EMP ID equal to 100. Correct? Now I
Insert.
want to I deleted the record, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
2 records are deleted because the employee ID equal to 102, the 2 records are deleted, correct?
Yes.
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 Now I'll say insert into employee
Employee.
values 100, okay? ABC, ABC,
It should be comma there after 100.
ABC, comma 2000,
After 100, it should be a comma.
1 second, 100, comma, ABC,
ABC.
1000, okay? So
Yes.
now
Yes.
I'll insert one more record whose employee is ABC, this time GHJ is employee name and salary is maybe 1000. I'll insert one more record. Insert employee 500, comma ABC, and his salary is 2000. Yeah. Now I'll commit all the records. I'll commit all the uncommitted records. Now I say select start from employee. Now there are 5 employees, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I want to increment. I want to increment the salary for a particular person. Okay. So now how will that particular person employee ID is 100. So I want to increment the salary for that particular person because he's working well. So how do I write the query? Can I identify that particular person by employee ID?
No.
No.
Usually, that time we don't have same employee ID, right? For any employee.
But
It should be
but
right.
but but how will you restrict that? Did you restrict here? 1 second, hold on. So but tell me that is a different question. But right now I inserted the record with the employee ID 100 database allowed it, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is a different topic. But
Okay.
as in this example, I inserted two records, and both the employees record is employee ID is 100, correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Now I want
Yes.
to increment for a particular person. I want to increment for a particular person, correct?
Okay.
So how will I increment the salary for a particular person whose employee is 100? How can I identify him with the employee ID 100?
No.
I
No,
cannot
wait.
identify that person because there are multiple people with the same employee ID, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I identify him by employee name?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, tell me the update.
Update employee
Hmm,
set salary equal to 4,000, where
hmm.
employee name is like for which person we want to give ABC or
A,
GH.
B, C, or
I
D,
want
H.
to increment to this particular person. Tell
Then
me.
ABC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many records will be updated now?
One.
1.
How many records have the employee name ABC?
Oh, two.
2,
Two.
2, 2. Sorry.
So then the salary is incremented for two persons, correct?
Then we
Yes.
have to give end condition.
Okay, tell me. Update.
Update employee
Uh,
set salary
uh,
equal to 4,000,
uh,
where
mm,
employee name equals to ABC
mm.
and uh, employee ID is 100
Will everyone agree to this? Will everyone agree to this?
Yeah. Uh,
and a semicolon.
Yeah,
okay.
obviously semicolon, but tell me, will everyone agree to this answer? Will it work or not?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, why it will not work? Who is that? Who said it will not work?
Oh yeah.
Me.
100.
Mehraj, tell me why it will not work? Hmm?
Yeah, it will work. Sorry, I thought it was or.
Yes, it's work.
I can't hear you. Please speak louder and clear when
It
I ask
will work.
the question.
It will
Will it
work.
work or not?
It will work.
Yeah. So, Hyun, what about you? Will it work or not?
Yeah, it work.
Why it will work, Hyun?
I think employee.
I want to identify this particular person, correct?
Yes.
So how will I identify? I'm identifying by employee ID. If I identify by employee ID, there are multiple records coming. When I say where employee ID equal 100, two people are coming, but I don't want two people. I want only one person, correct?
Yes.
If I say where employee name equal ABC, again there are two people coming. I don't want to increment the salary for two people, correct?
Yes.
I want to increment the salary for a particular person whose employee ID is 100 and whose employee name is ABC, correct? So the end condition should work because there is only one record in this table whose employee ID is 100 and whose employee name is ABC, correct?
Yes.
Will everyone agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this should work obviously. There is only one row updated, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm?
Yes.
Correct or not?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, for example, this particular employee is 100, employee name is ABC, and salary is 1000, and this particular employee is also 100, and this particular employee name is also ABC. It could be possible, right? Multiple people can have the same name, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So, for example, this particular person name is also ABC, this particular ID is also 100, and this particular ID is also 100, and name is also ABC. So, and both the salaries are 1000. For example, both are working in the same company, in the same department, in the same level of experience, and their names are same, and their salaries are same, and their employee ID is also same. Now, I want to identify the particular person and increment the salary. Is it possible to increment the salary for a particular person? Can you identify him by employee ID? Can you identify him by employee name? Can you identify him by salary or the combination of those? Can you identify that particular person?
No.
It is like that. No.
No.
So if it is 100 ABC 1000 and if it is 100 ABC 1000, so can you identify the person and increment the salary?
No.
No.
Obviously, it is not possible, right? You cannot identify the record because there is no unique value with which you can identify. There is no unique value with which you can identify the record. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is not a good design. If you design the tables like this, it's not a good design. If you create the tables in this manner, this is not a good design, because you're able to save the records in the database, but you're not able to update the records. You cannot identify the particular record and update the record. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're able to
Yes.
insert the records in the database. Fine, that is fine. You are able to store the data of each employee. For the first person, you store the data. For the second person, also you store the data. But when it comes to update, you are not able to update the salary for a particular person. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
definitely, it is a bad design. Will you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So then, what should I do? Why all this problem is coming? First of all, because I'm not able to identify the record in a unique way. There is no column in the table. There is no column in the table with which I can identify the record. So for example, if I try to identify the record by employee ID column, the employee ID column has duplicate values. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if I try to identify the record in the table with employee name column also has duplicate values. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And if I
Yes.
try
Yeah.
to identify the record with the salary column, when I say my salary equal to 1000, there are multiple people with the salary equal to 1000. I cannot identify that particular record. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is no column in the table with which I can identify the record in a unique way. Agreed?
Yeah.
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 That is the
Yes.
problem with this design. Agreed? So
Yes.
if
Yes.
you want
Yes.
to design your database tables with a good design, so what you have to do is you have to create the table in such a way. You have to create the table in such a way that you should be able to identify the record with a column in a unique way. At
Yeah.
least you have to create one column in the table with which you have to identify the record in a unique way. Agreed?
Yes.
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 So it means I should not, whatever the column you decided with which you have to identify the record in a unique way, that column should not allow duplicate values. Agreed?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is how you have to create the table. You have to create the table in such a way while creating the table itself. While creating the table itself, you have to tell that this particular column, because while creating the table only you're telling what are the columns in the table, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So while
Yeah.
creating the table, you're telling these are the columns in the table. At the same time, you should also tell that hey, this particular column should not allow duplicate values. You have to apply some restriction on a column which you selected. Getting it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You should apply some restriction. You should apply some condition on the column. This column should not allow duplicate values. That is how you have to create a table. You should ask the database, hey database, please create the table with the employee ID column, employee name column, and salary column, but don't allow the duplicate values in the employee ID column. You have to tell the database, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Or don't allow the duplicates in the employee name column. What are the column you decided? You have to tell the database, hey, while creating the table itself, tell the database, hey, this particular column should not allow duplicate values. Then database, that when you send the query to database in that way, database understands your query, so database will create the table. Now when you're trying to insert the duplicate value in that column, database will give you error. Database will tell you, hey, I can't insert the duplicate value in this column because this column has a restriction. You already told me to restrict the values in this column, correct?
Yes.
So database will not allow that insert query. Agreed?
Yes.
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 Any questions here?
No.
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 So how do you tell the database now? How do you tell the database, hey, this particular column should not allow the duplicate values? You have to create a primary key. Did
Okay.
you, did you ever heard of primary key?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you have to tell the database is, let me drop the table first. Drop table employee. I drop the table. The entire table is dropped. There is no table called employee in the database now, correct?
Yes.
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 Now I'm creating the table again. Create table employee. Okay. So EMP ID number of 6, comma, PMP name, varchar2 of maybe 8, comma, salary number of 6. Okay.
Yes.
So these are the columns in the table. What else I should say? I should also tell the database, comma,
That employee ID should be unique.
primary key.
Yeah.
Primary key is which column is the primary key? Which column you
Employee
want to keep the primary key? You want to keep the primary key as an employee ID column, for example.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's all. So missing left parenthesis. Where is that? Okay, yeah. So primary key, you have to give the, you have to open the parenthesis here. There's the syntax. You have to say
Okay.
employee ID. That's all. Table is created. Now you created the table, employee table, with this column. This is the data type. The employee name, this is the data type. Salary, this is the data type. Then you're telling, so now make the employee ID as a primary key. That's what you're telling the database, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
then when you try to insert into employee values, EMP ID 100, EMP name ABC, salary 1000. Okay, record is created. Now when you insert the record into the employee table, EMP ID is 200, EMP name is ABC, salary is 2000. Will it allow this insert or not?
Yes.
Will it allow this insert or not? I want everyone to speak louder.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Why
it
it
will
will allow?
allow.
Because there is no duplicate value in the employee ID column, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you made employee ID as a primary key. So
Yeah.
database database doesn't have any problem to insert this record in the database, the employee table. Now when you try to insert another record in the employee table with employee ID 100 and DEF salary is 3000, will this insert is successful or not?
No.
No.
When you ask the database, a database please insert this record in the employee table with these values, database will give you error. It will tell you that, hey, I can't insert the record in the employee table because there's a constraint, there's a unique constraint on this particular that is violated. So unique constraint means what? Constraint means some restriction, correct? You already applied some constraint on that particular column, employee ID column. You said that employee ID is a primary key, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Employee
Yeah.
ID is the primary key. That is the constraint. That is the restriction you applied on that particular column. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
database is telling that that particular constraint is getting violated. If I insert this query, if I insert this record, if I insert this record in the table, this constraint is getting violated. So I don't insert the record. That's what database is telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah.
No.
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 So now how many records are there in the table?
2.
Only 2
Two
records. Correct?
records.
Not
Yes.
inserted. Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, but with this, if you specify what is the primary key, suppose if you specify employee ID is the primary key, definitely you cannot insert multiple records in the table with the same employee ID because database will not allow that. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So earlier, I did not have any constraint on the employee ID column. Did I have a constraint on the employee ID column?
No.
When I
No.
don't have a constraint, when I don't have a restriction on the employee ID column, so you can insert multiple records with the same employee ID. But now it is not possible. So is it a good design or not?
It's a good design.
This is a good design.
Because you should be able to identify the record in a unique way. Whenever you want to identify a particular person, you can identify him by his employee ID. Maybe you cannot identify him by his employee name because multiple people can have the same name, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't have any restriction on the employee name column, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you put a restriction on the employee name column, yeah, obviously you cannot insert multiple records with the same employee name.
Yeah.
But generally, we should not put the restriction on the employee name column because in the real time, there can be multiple employees with the same name. So I should not put any restriction on the employee name, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there
Yes.
can be
Yes.
multiple people in the company with the same salary. So I cannot put any restriction on the salary, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe you and your friend might be getting the same salary in the company, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you put a restriction, then you cannot insert the record in the tables with the same salary, correct?
Yeah.
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 So that is the reason I have chosen employee ID as a primary key. I did not choose employee name as a primary key. I did not choose salary as a primary key, correct?
Yeah.
Because in the real time, whatever the data I'm getting, the data might contain multiple employees with the same employee name and multiple employees with the same salary. So that is definitely that is a scenario, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but if I put the employee ID as a unique, definitely I can identify the record. I can identify the employee with his employee ID. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Employee ID is in my control because I am generating the employee. I am giving the employee IDs to the employees. Correct. When
Yeah.
when someone join my company, I am the one who is giving the employee ID to that particular person. Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
But employee, I am not giving the employee name. He already has a name by the time he joined the company. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot decide his name. Correct. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But employee ID I am deciding. So when I am deciding the employee ID, I can give a unique values to him. So I can restrict the employee ID column. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
questions here?
Now.
No.
No.
So when you create the tables from going forward, whenever you create any table, make sure that the table has a primary key. That is a good design. If you don't have a primary key, that's a bad design. And you have to identify which column has to be created as a primary key based on the data. For example, if it is employee data, I cannot put employee name as a primary key. I cannot put salary as a primary key. But employee ID, I can put it as a primary key, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is the decision you have to take. For example, tomorrow if you are developing an application, in your company and you have to decide what kind of data is stored in the database and will that data might have duplicate records or not, so then what column I have to choose as a primary key, you have to decide and create the primary key accordingly. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
how you have to design the table. While creating the tables itself, you have to identify which column has to be created as a primary key and create the table accordingly. Any
Yeah.
questions here?
Now.
No.
No.
Did everyone understand the importance of primary key?
Yes.
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 So going forward, whenever you create any tables, make one of the column as a primary key, and you have to
Primary.
decide which column has to be made as a primary key. Then accordingly, you create the primary key. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now next question is, for example, I'll drop the table now. Now there is no table called employee table. Correct?
Yeah.
Now I'll create the table again. Create table employee EMP ID number of 6, comma EMP name varchar2 of 6, comma salary number of 4. Okay, so salary number of 6. What I meant, create table employee varchar spelling wrong.
Varchar spelling.
HAR.
So table created, but I forgot to create the primary key. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
forgot to create the primary key. So I'm inserting some record. Insert into employee values, employee ID 100, EMP name ABC, salary 1000. Correct? Mm. Insert into employee values. What is wrong
In
here?
space in between into. I miss. I think.
I insert
I and then into. Where
and
into?
to into
Okay, let me write it again. Insert into employee values, employee ID 100, ABC, salary 1000. Now the record is inserted, correct?
Yes.
But there is no primary key in this table. So when I insert another record with the employee ID 100, it will allow that, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
But now I realize that, oh, I did not create a primary key in this table. I did not, so actually there are 10 employees in the table, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. All the employee IDs are there. There are 10 people with these employee IDs, okay?
Okay.
Now I have to create a 11th employee. So then I realized that before creating the 11th employee, I realized that, oh, I forgot to give the primary key for the table, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what should I do? What should I do then? Hmm?
Drop the table and create new.
If I drop the table, I will lose all the 10 employees data because there are 10 employees in the table. Those 10 employees has some data. I cannot afford to lose the data. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I cannot
Yes.
afford to lose
Yeah.
the data of the existing employees. Correct? They are already working in my
Yes.
company from past 1 year. Now the 11th person is going to join in the next year. So I cannot afford to lose the 1 year data because they
Yeah.
might have so much of data for the 1 year, correct? They might have got
Yeah.
so many pay slips and each pay slip data and everything will be there, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't afford to lose the data. Agreed or not?
Yeah.
Agree.
So what will I do then?
Mm,
If I drop the table, if I create the table again, I'll lose the data. I can't afford to lose the data, but I have to create a primary key. What should I do? I have to change the definition of a table. I have to alter the table, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Here the table is defined in such a way that it has 3 columns, but I forgot to give the primary key while defining a table. Now I have to change the definition of a table and give the primary key, correct?
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
alter table. So looks like I'm damn sure you people are not practicing well. People are not practicing well. None of you. None of you are practicing. I mean, seriously, I'm not happy with the way you people are answering the questions. You people are not getting any ideas. If you practice it, if you practice means what? What exactly? Tell me what is exactly what do you mean by practice? Every time saying practice, practice. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? What do you understand by practice?
If we practice more, like we'll get a lot of
Practice
ideas
means
how
what?
we
What are you
implement.
doing exactly? What you have to practice?
We
Whatever
should run the
that you
program
have to
and
practice.
do.
Whatever the examples I'm telling in the class, you have to practice the same examples.
No.
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 You can write multiple queries, right? You can update the salary, you can update the employee name, you can update the employee ID, you can insert it, you can delete it, you can drop it, you can create 5 6 tables, you can insert the data in 6 tables, you can play with the data, you can play with these queries, correct? But I
Yeah.
don't think people are playing with these queries. Whatever I'm telling the class, you're just listening to that blindly, and you're just going through the recording, not even writing the queries by your own. I'm damn sure about it. You're not even writing the queries by your own. You might be just going through the recording. I doubt that also. Maharaj, what are you doing? Are you practicing or not?
No, Ramji.
I told you clearly. I told you clearly. This is not funny. We are going to learn so many things in this month. We will go with a jet speed. I told that already. Still, I'm not able to increase my speed because the way you are answering the questions. But if I increase the speed once, I don't know how you people will react. It's not funny. It's very important things you are going to learn. What about exception handling? Did you people complete the exception handling? What are you doing? You're not completing exception handling. You're not going to the queries. You're not practicing it. What are you doing in the home? No, I don't expect these things from you. If you're really serious about your career, if you really want to be successful in your career, You have to work hard for the next 1 month to 40 days. I know people are going for part times and all those things. Whatever it is, you have to work hard. If required, you have to reduce your sleep time. That's what I'm telling. You have to reduce your sleep time. If it is not possible, then you have to arrange your own alternatives. How will you manage this? You are not kids. You should know how to manage your time. You should know how to manage your time. And I am also giving a lot of breaks. You people are not utilizing the breaks as well. So I'm seeing problems with the Hyun. Hyun, you are not at all doing hard work, Hyun. And I'm seeing problems with few more people. Tell me, what is the problem? Do you have any problem with my teaching, or do you're understanding it or not? I want to know now.
Uh,
If you have any problems with my teaching, let me know. I will correct it. Not
No.
finding it interesting, I'll try to correct it and make it interesting.
yes.
Don't do this. You will be suffered if you don't practice it. You have to work hard for the next 30 to 40 days, no matter what, whatever might be the situation in your life, because you won't get this kind of training after 1 month in your life again. Because you'll be busy with your marketing, you'll be busy with so many things in the life. You don't get time, you don't find time for practicing and for learning something. Trust me, you don't find time again. Don't just waste your time. It's very precious. So I have to alter the table. Alter table. Which table I want to alter? I want to
Employee.
alter employee table.
Modify.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, Ramsey, I was just repeating it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So alter table employee. I'm altering the employee table. What alteration I'm doing? I have to add a constraint. I have to add a restriction on the employee ID column, and I want to make the employee ID column as a primary key. Correct?
Yeah.
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 So I have to add. I'm adding it. I'm adding what? I'm adding constraint.
Yeah.
I'm adding a constraint. Alter table employee, add constraint. What constraint I'm adding? Primary
Employee.
key constraint. I'm adding
Primary.
a primary key constraint, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And one more thing, every constraint will have a name. Every constraint will have a name. You have to give the name of a constraint. So maybe you can give any name. That's your wish. Maybe what you'll give is your wish. That is, you can give Ramji also. That's your wish. Whatever the name you want to give, you can give the name of a constraint. I'm adding a constraint whose name is maybe pk underscore constraint, because pk is primary key. So primary, you can give any name. I'm just giving primary pk underscore constraint means that's a primary key constraint. That's to identify it. I'm simply giving that name. So this is the name of a constraint. Space. What type of constraint it is? It is a primary key constraint.
Primary key.
It is a primary key constraint. And what column you want to add?
Employee.
EMPID.
Employee ID.
So primary key, open the parenthesis on the employee ID column. You want to add this constraint. You want to alter the table, employee table, add the constraint, and give the name of the constraint and what type of constraint you want to add. Give that primary key and what column you want to add. EMPID column. Correct? So if you
Yes.
send the
Hmm.
query to database now, database will understand this query and it will alter the table. Now there is a primary key constraint on the employee ID column. If I try to insert any record now, insert into employee values. So employee ID is 100, employee name is something, salary is something else. So it will not allow this record because there is already one record in the table with the employee ID 100, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I already inserted one record with the employee ID 100. If I try to insert one more record with the employee ID 100, it will not allow that.
Ramji,
Because there is a unique constraint. The name of the constraint is pk underscore constraint. That constraint is violated, correct?
okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
I have one question, Ramji, here.
Yeah,
Like I have a doubt. Like on the table, like alter table employee add constraint is a keyword. Constraint is a keyword, right?
correct.
And
And constraint is a keyword.
okay, and PK constraint is like what we have
What
written
is the
to.
name of a constraint? You can give
Name
any.
of the constraint.
Okay,
You can give any name. For example, uh, okay. Right now, let me drop the table again. Table is dropped, correct?
okay,
Now let me create the table again. Create table employee. So EMP ID number of 6, comma EMP name cat2 of 6, comma salary number of 6. So now there is no constraint on the table, correct?
yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
There is no constraint on the table.
yeah.
So now if I insert a record, insert into
Employee.
employee values, employee ID 100, employee name is ABC, salary is 1000. Okay, record is inserted. Now let me insert one more record. Employee ID is 100, employee name is DEF, salary is 2000. So now will this record be inserted or not?
It will be inserted.
It will be inserted because there is no constraint in the table, correct?
Yes.
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 So now if I try to now I realize that when I do select start from employee, now I realize that oh, there are two employees with the employee name 100, employee ID 100, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I realize that
Yeah.
oh, this should not happen. So I have to create a primary key constraint,
Primary.
correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Then
So
what
what
will
we
Yeah.
happen?
do?
Previous records.
Alter table employee add constraint, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can give Ramji constraint
Ramji.
name,
Yeah.
whatever the name you want to give, you can give it. Okay.
Yeah.
Add constraint Ramji and
Prime.
what type of
Primary
constraint?
key. Primary key.
Primary key. So, but generally in real time, don't give what are the names you want. Give some meaningful names. Yes, of course, you can give what are the names you want, but that is not the standard way of writing the queries, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
In your application, why will you give your name? You have to give some meaningful name, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but fine. To make you understand, I'm giving my name. So primary key. So EMP ID, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, when I alter the table, I'm changing the definition of the employee table. I'm adding a constraint. I'm adding a primary key constraint on the employee ID column, and I give the name of the constraint as a Ramji. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, will this query be successful?
That was my question. Like because
So
we have
when I
for
ask a database, please add a primary key constraint on the employee ID column. Database will not add it because the employee ID already has the duplicate data.
okay.
It already has the duplicate data. Now if database accept this query, if database accept this query, so how can the duplicate values will be there with a primary key, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So then what database will tell you is hey, I cannot alter the table. I cannot alter the table because the primary if I alter the table and add a primary key constraint, then the
Yeah.
primary key will be violated, correct?
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
not alter the table. So database is not allowing you to alter the table. So then the only way you have to do is you have to delete from employee table where EMP ID equal to 100. Where EMP ID equal to 100. That's all. So those two records are deleted. Now there are no duplicate records in the employee table, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you have to alter the table. Now the primary key constant is applied, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have to insert the records in the table. Now if you insert the record again, it will give you the error, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah.
I have one
So this
question,
is
Ram.
the you have to alter the table definition. Agreed?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to alter the table definition and add a constraint on the one of the column, whichever the column you want to add. but generally in this case I'm adding it on the employee ID column, which makes more sense, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did everyone understand about the primary keys, how to alter the table and add the constraint, and how to create a primary key while creating the table? Did you understand the syntax? You can
Yeah.
create the primary key while creating the table itself, but if you forget, then you can alter the table and add the constraint, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And did everyone understand the importance of primary key?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ramji, I have a question.
Yeah.
If some employee, if some employee worked as a contractor in some company, right? At that
Mm,
time, he might have created a table and it has some millions of records. He did
mm,
not mention, what primary key in that. So he tag it. It has taken all duplicate employee IDs as well. For example, so
mm,
if I go, later, like his contract is done, and I go to that position. If I take
mm,
that at that time,
mm.
if I want to, then I have noticed that there is no primary key for that table. So in that time, like what I should do, I can't delete.
You have to throw that application in the garbage. Okay, you have to throw that application, whatever the application you developed in the garbage. Obviously, that's a bad design, and the developers did not develop it properly. The testers did not test it properly, so nothing happened properly, and it went to production. Correct?
Yeah.
Obviously, that will never happen in real time, because if all these things will be thoroughly taken care. Because when the developers develop the code, when the developers create the table, when the developers develop the Java code, so the reviewers will review the code in your team. If suppose if that 5 developers, okay, one
Yeah.
developer is developing the code, the other developer will review the code before you send it to testing team. You do your primary testing first. The developer has to do the testing whether your application is working properly or not, and after you do your testing, then you have to send it for the reviewer, and reviewer will review the code. And if he identifies there is any problem with this code, he will tell you that, hey, this is the problem, you have to correct this, you have to do this. Then you have to make the corrections and send it to review again. And if the reviewer is happy with your code, then you can send the code to testing. Then testing team, if the testing team is happy with the application, if everything is working fine, if that when they are testing it, if everything is working fine, then it will be sent to production, correct? There's lot of testing, there's lot of extensive testing will happen in the application in the real time. So
Okay.
the testing phase will be larger when compared to development phase. There are varieties of testing will happen on the application. Getting it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They do a lot
Yeah.
of testing. There's different kinds of testing that they do in the application and make sure that this application is working fine. So it is the responsibility of the testers to find any bugs in the system. So for example, if you get a bug in the production, after it goes to production, if you get a bug, the first question will be asked to the testers. Hey, how did you certify this code? Why did you send this code to production when there is a bug in the system? Why don't you identify that bug? The first question will be asked to testers before it comes to developers. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of testing, but
Yes.
if the people don't test it properly, if the people don't develop it properly, if the people don't review it properly, and if it is sent to production, what else we can do? We have to correct. We have to manually correct each and every records data. That's all we have to do. That is a very painful activity and painful task, and it's a rework kind of thing. Getting it? So
Yeah.
generally in real time, you won't run into these kind of situations unless you don't have anyone in the team who can test it properly, who can develop it properly, who can review it properly. If you don't have anyone in the team, definitely you will run into these kind of situations, correct?
Yeah.
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 But generally in real time we don't run into this kind of situations. So whenever you create a table, the primary key, that's the reason. So if you're experienced people, if you're trained, at least if you're trained people, if you know what is a table, so why are we creating a table, why are we storing the data, why what is the purpose of storing the data? So at later point of time, so there might be some updates happening on the data. At later point of time, you might have to retrieve the data whatever you stored. So if you know the importance of the things what you're doing, you do it properly, correct? And if you don't know anything about anything, and if you're just creating the tables and storing the data, and if you don't know why are you creating the table and why are you storing the data, and if you don't know what is primary key, if you don't know what is a good design, yes, you'll run into this kind of issues, correct? So that is the reason we are learning these kind of things so that you don't make these mistakes in the future. That's why I'm telling that these classes are very important. Did everyone understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ramji.
So that's all about primary key. So we completed one topic called primary key now, correct? So the
Yes.
next topic, before going into next topic, so till now, before going to next topic, till now what I did, I have installed the Oracle database. That is the first step we did in as part of this course, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And when I install the Oracle database, by default, I got SQL Plus client along with the Oracle database installation. So when I installed Oracle database, the database is installed, and it also installed one more software called SQL Plus, correct?
Yes.
I did not install this separately. It is already installed as part of the database installation, correct?
Yes.
So now using this client, I am sending the queries to database, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So similarly, there is one more tool which you can install, SQL Developer. So using this client also, you can speak to Oracle database, agreed?
Yeah.
So if you want to speak with the database, you can speak with, for example, if you have one server in the hotel, you went to a hotel, you want to order some food, so there is a server in the hotel, okay, who takes your order, correct?
Yes.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first person, the first client walked into the hotel, so the server came to him and the client spoke to the server, hey, what are the items available in the hotel? So then he gave you the list of items available in the hotel, okay? Now the
Yes.
second person walked into the hotel and he also asked the same server. He went to the same server and he asked what are the items available. So again he will give you the list of items, correct? So whoever is
Yes.
Yes.
processing the request, so whichever the client went to the database and asking about the data, so the database is giving the data back to the client, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if the SQL Plus is asking for the data, the database will give the data back to SQL Plus. If the SQL developer will ask the database, a database, I need this data, it will give the data back to the SQL developer. Correct?
Yes.
Similarly, I told that you can also use a Toad. This is another tool. This is another tool using which you can speak with Oracle database. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can send a query to the database by using this tool. You can send a query to this database by using this tool. You can send a query to the database by using this tool, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So there is only one server, but you can have multiple clients speaking with that server, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So similarly, you can write a Java program, correct? That's what I told. And speak with Oracle database. Agreed or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in our examples, I'm telling Oracle database. For that purpose, it can be any database, correct? It can be DB2
Yes.
database. It can be any database.
Okay.
It can be SQL Server, or it can be Postgres, or it can be MySQL, whatever might be the database. There are so many databases available in the market. But in our classes, we are learning about the Oracle database, correct? We
Yes.
install the
Yes.
Oracle database in our laptops because Oracle database is the more popular database when compared to any of the databases in the market, correct?
Yes.
So you can write a Java program and you can send a query to database and database will give the data back to the Java program. Whoever is asking the data, database will give the data back to them, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we already learned about the SQL Plus. Now it's time to learn about the SQL Developer.
Okay.
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 So first of all, we have to install the SQL Developer in our laptops.
Okay.
Because SQL Plus is already automatically installed with the database installation. But
Oracle.
SQL Developer we have to install manually, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you install the SQL Developer? You have to, one second. So just type it in Google, SQL Developer download. Okay.
Okay.
You get the SQL Developer downloads. Just go to the again. Particular SQL Developer client is this particular software is developed by the Oracle company. So you have to go to the Oracle website and download this client. This particular client, SQL Developer client, it's a client developed by the Oracle company. So you have to go to the Oracle website and download this client. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So SQL developer is a client. I'm not talking about the database. Of course, Oracle database is also developed by the Oracle company, and SQL developer client is also developed by the Oracle company. Getting it?
Yeah.
So you have to go to the Oracle. This is a Oracle website where you can go to the Oracle website and download this. Maybe I hope everyone is using Windows, so you have to download the Windows 64-bit. This particular download. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to make one of you as a presenter, and I want one of you to download it and show it to everyone because I already have it in my laptop. I don't want to download now. So whom may make a presenter? So Maharaj, shall I make you as a presenter?
Yeah. Maybe my internet is slow.
Okay. So Varalakshmi, what about you?
I'm using Mac and I have downloaded Oracle in Windows.
Okay. So Divya, what about you?
Now present I'm using the iPad, Ramji.
Or else, if you want, I can do it from my I can join with the same meeting ID from my Windows laptop, and I can do that.
Make it fast. I want.
Yeah.
I can wait for only 1 minute. Make it fast. Otherwise, I'll show it my laptop.
Okay. Can you please tell me the meeting ID? No, my phone is not with me.
989
989. Yeah.
886
886
669
69. Okay.
669.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now I'll make you as a presenter. But can you ping me once in the chat? I don't know. There are two Varalakshmis, right? Otherwise, can you disconnect from the other laptop? Varalakshmi, yeah. So now I'll make you as a presenter. And I think your audio is not working. So can you hear us, Varalakshmi? Yeah, Varalakshmi, can you hear us?
She says she has audio issues.
Audio issue.
Okay, fine. I'll make myself as presenter. Okay. So check here. So when you click on download, the Varalakshmi, you can join the meeting through Mac. I think you have audio issues. Yeah, you can join through Mac. I can explain my laptop. So when you download here, when you click on download, so you get a zip file. If you accept it, download this zip file. But it's a Oracle website, right? So whenever you're downloading something, you have to give the username and password. And I hope everyone has an account with Oracle. When you install the Java in your laptops, you have the Oracle account, right?
Yes.
So it's Ramji B. Okay. I think it's gmail.com. Let's see. So it's getting downloaded, correct?
Yes.
It's completed. So
Yes,
let
Ramji.
me go to that folder. Showing folder. So generally, it's still downloading. Okay, it's still downloading. Hold on. Still downloading. Sorry. It's a 490 MB file, so it will take some time for downloading. Okay. In meantime, so just hold up until it downloads. But in meantime, so if you go, I already have that in my laptop. If you see here, SQL developer, this is the zip file that I downloaded. This is the zip file I downloaded. So when you right click and when you extract to this, you'll get this folder, right?
Yes.
So you'll get this folder, this particular folder you got it, correct?
Yeah.
So you can open this. You can open this SQL developer. You see this icon, getting it.
Yeah.
So then when you open this, 1 second. So I'm closing down. I already opened the SQL developer. I'm closing that and opening that now, correct?
Yes.
I'm opening it now. So now this is the client I installed in my laptop. Why did I install this client? Because I want to speak with the server, correct?
Yes.
Everyone agree?
Yes, Ramji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is everyone listening?
Yes.
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 Yes, Ramji.
So now I want to create a connection to this. I want to create a connectivity to the server because whenever client wants to speak with the server, the client has to create a connection to the server first. Without a connection, can the client communicate with the server?
No.
So if a client has to connect to the server means the client has to know where the server is present, what is the IP address of the server, on what port number the server is running, correct?
Yes.
And what is the
Yeah.
username of the server and what is the password of the server. It has to know all these things. Without knowing all these things, can the client connect to server?
No.
Mhm.
Is everyone able to recollect it? I want everyone to reply on this.
Yes,
No.
Ramji.
No,
So
Ramji.
client cannot communicate with the server until and unless it knows about the IP address of the server. It knows
Yeah.
about the number on which the database is running inside the server. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So, so you see this plus icon. Just click here. Create a new connection. It got stuck.
It will become slow, no? Usually.
Sorry.
You can be download SQL developer in our system. Systems also will get.
When you click a new connection, you get this window. Okay. Here you have to
Yeah.
tell what is the host name. What is the host name? Host name is because your client has to know where the server is present. What is the IP address? Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, right now, where is my database present? My database is present in my local laptop. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to give the IP address of my local laptop. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So CMD. What is the IP address of my laptop? Run as administrator. So IP config.
Yeah.
So this is
Down.
IPv 10.0.0. This IPv4 address is required. 10.0.0.182. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll give that IP address 10.0.0.182.
1-8.
Port number. So on what port number database is running in my laptop? Do you know that?
I
No.
think
Uh,
triple eight or something.
So let me tell you clearly. First of all, why does the client wants to speak with the server? Because it has to get some data from the server, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are the example we have already spoken about in the first class? For example, if you want to meet your friend who is in the New York and you are in the California, correct?
Yeah.
So you have to know the address of your friend if you have to meet him, correct?
Yes.
So, you know the address. So he's living in so and so, maybe some 3156, some ABC Drive, some in some. You know the address of your friend. So you went to that address. So after going to that address, it's a community, and there are a lot of apartments in that community, and you should know what is the apartment number, correct?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you cannot meet your friend. So you should know the address. After knowing the address, you should also know the apartment number, correct?
Yeah.
Similarly, I have to know the IP address of the laptop, IP address of the laptop where the database is installed, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in that laptop, there are so many things running. Not only Oracle database, there are so many other things are running. But I want to talk to Oracle database because Oracle database is my friend. Getting it?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
should know the port number on which the database is running, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
apartment number. There are multiple apartments, and each apartment has a specific people. So the database is there in one particular apartment. Getting it?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
should know
Yes.
the port number. That is apartment number is nothing but port number. I have to know the port number on which the database is running, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So once I know the port number, once I, for example, I will tell you how to find the port number. But at this point of time, so the port number is 1521. In my laptop, the database is running on 1521 port number. Okay, I'll tell you how to find that later.
Okay.
But try to understand at high level. I'm trying to explain you at high level. So you know the IP address of the laptop where the database is installed, and this is the port number in which the database is running. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this
Yes.
sufficient to meet your friend? Is this sufficient to meet your friend?
Yes.
So when you go and knock the door will not open until unless you enter the username and password. Correct?
Yeah.
Until unless your because your friend is not allowing anyone into the room until unless he's authenticated. Correct?
Yeah.
So you have to enter the username and password, then the door will open. Agreed or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
So enter the username and password. So username is December 2019, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Password is December 2019. So now you enter the username, you enter the password, and you enter the IP address, you enter the port number. So is it sufficient to meet your friend?
It should be.
Should be.
You are. Is it sufficient to meet your friend?
Yes.
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 So when the door is open, so there it's a three-bedroom apartment. There are three bedrooms. Okay. So but your friend is staying in a specific bedroom. So you have to know where he's staying. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise you cannot meet him. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is nothing but SID, the service ID. You should know the SID. So this is
Okay.
a new thing to you. I did not talk to you about this. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when you enter into the room, when you enter into the apartment, so if you want to meet your friend, okay, for example, when you enter into the apartment, if you want to meet your friend, there are three people in the apartment, so you have to know who is your friend. Then only you can talk to him, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to identify your friend out of the three people, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every person has some name. The first person has some name. The second person has some name. The third person has some name. You have to name. You have to know the name of your friend to meet to talk to him, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is the
Yeah.
SID. You have to know the SID. Getting it? Sorry, SID. So SID is ORCL. In my laptop, whatever the database is installed, it is running on port number 1521 and the SID of that database is ORCL. I will tell you how to find the SID in your laptop and how to find the port number in your laptop after this.
Okay.
Okay.
But at this point of time, try to understand high level what is host name. It's nothing but the IP address, correct? And what is the port number, and what is the SID, and what is the username, and what is the password. If you enter all these details, then you can communicate with your friend. Agreed or not?
Yes.
So you can give any name for the connection. Maybe I can give December 2019 is the connection name. Okay,
Okay.
I'm giving some name. You can give any name. Okay.
Okay.
So Now I test the connection. So because I want to check whether the client is able to connect with the server or not.
Okay.
I entered all the details in the, this is the client. If you understand, this is SQL developer is a client. From the client, I'm trying to connect to the server. So I entered all the server details, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I try to test it, whether the client can establish the connectivity or not. So status is success, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Suppose if I enter a wrong username, if I give some W at the end of the string, at the end of the username, if I say test, if I say test, one second, it's not getting clicked. Yeah, it's saying
Yeah.
that
Test
invalid
fail.
username and password, correct?
Yeah.
Client
Yeah.
is not able to connect, talk to the server. The client is not able to connect to the server because you enter the wrong credentials. The door did not open, correct?
Yes.
Getting it?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling some real time examples so that you'll understand it easily. Just I'm giving some blind example. So don't just compare that example every time. Getting it?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, Ramji.
Yes.
Yes, Ramji.
So when I remove this W now when I when I try to click on test,
Success.
status is success,
Success.
correct?
Yes.
So I tested the now I'll try to connect. I tested the connectivity, but now I'll try to connect it by clicking on connect. Okay, then the client will connect to server, correct?
Yes.
You doesn't need to save it.
It will be automatically saved with the name August. Sorry,
No,
December
this
2019, correct?
there on the top. Like
Yeah. So this is
yeah.
the connection I created, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So now it opened one window here, correct? December 2019 it opened when I say connect. Now with the connectivity established between the client and server, so the connectivity is created. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now whatever the queries you write, for example, if I say select start from employee, select start from employee. Getting it?
Mhm.
Just select this query and click on this green button. This
Okay.
green button is nothing but run the statement, execute the, you're sending this statement to database. From the client, you're sending the query to database. Through that connection, through that pipe, client is there in one machine. That is, in this example, the client and server are there in my laptop, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
But in real time, the database can be in some other laptop and client can be in some other laptop and client will speak with the server. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you're sending the query through the pipe that is created between the client and server, the connection that is created between the client and server, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 So when you run this query, you get the output. Right now there are no records in the employee table, correct?
Oh, okay.
So why there are no records? Go and check from the SQL Plus client. So see, what I told is the data, you're talking to the same database from the SQL Plus client and the SQL Developer client, correct? There is only one database
Yes.
here. There is only one database
Yes.
I installed in my laptop, correct?
Yeah.
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 I'm
Mhm.
talking to the same database from the SQL Plus client and the from SQL Developer client, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
For example, whatever might be the client, you have to get the same response because you're asking the database, hey, what is the data in the employee table? So the same thing should come from the uh, server, correct? Because when you go to the hotel or when you go to any restaurant, so when you order for a, when you go and talk to the server, hey, what are the items available in your hotel? He will give the list of items available to you. If the other customer comes and asks, he will give the same list of items available to him because the data is same, the same database, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the same restaurant. So the same data, the same items will be present. So whatever the client come and ask, he'll give the same list, correct?
Yeah.
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 So now from the SQL Plus client, I'll go and check select star from employee. I got one record, but I'm not getting that record in the SQL developer client. In the same database,
We
which is
didn't submit.
correct or not?
Yeah.
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 Because I
We
did not
didn't
commit the
submit
record.
here. Yeah.
I did not commit the record, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I committed it. Go and check in the SQL developer. Select star from employee. Just run this query. You get the record.
Oh yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
SQL develop then because that is uncommitted data, correct? Because you did not commit the
Yes.
record from the SQL Plus, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Right.
data is not permanently stored in the database table. Agreed or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So when you're asking from a different client, when you're asking from a different client, obviously that is not committed. It will always give the committed records only, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting it?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, Ramji.
No,
No.
Ramji.
So did everyone understand how to install the SQL developer in your laptops and how to write the queries?
Yes.
So whatever the queries you want to write, for example, select star from student table. We have a student table, right?
Mm.
So just select this query, just run this button. You get the student records, correct?
Okay.
So for example, if I say select star from student where SID is equal to 100, where SID is equal to 100. So I'll get the
Only
records.
one.
So marks, where between, marks between uh, 67 and 87. Okay, I'll get all the records whose marks are between 67 and 87. Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can write every query that we have written with the SQL Plus client. Correct. The
Yeah.
query
Yes.
database understands the query language. It can be SQL Developer client or it can be SQL Plus client. Whatever might be the client, when they want to speak with the database, they have to send the queries because database understands only query language. For example, you
Mhm.
are walking into a restaurant and you know English language. The other person who is walking into the restaurant, the other client, the other customer, he knows Spanish language. Okay. So, but the server in the hotel, server in the restaurant, he knows he knows Arabic language. Okay, he doesn't know English, he doesn't know Spanish. So, can these two clients communicate with him?
No.
No.
So, what the client has to know Arabic to communicate with the server, correct?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
whatever might be the client, the first client or the second client or third client, all the clients should know Arabic language to communicate with the server because server understands only Arabic language, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you speak in English language, he doesn't understand what you're requesting for, what you're asking for, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So if client and server has to communicate with each other, they should have a common language. That is the query language I'm talking about, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So whether it is a SQL Plus client or whether it is a SQL Developer client, whether it is a Java client, whether it is a .NET client, whether it is a Python client, whatever might be the client who is speaking with the database, they have to send the queries to the database because database understands only query language.
Yes. Correct.
So that's the reason whatever the queries you have written in the SQL Plus, the same queries you can write here also and send the queries to database. Database understands that and give the response back.
Right.
Any questions? Any questions here?
No.
No,
No.
Ranj.
Okay, the next topic is how to find the port number and how to find the SID, correct?
Yeah.
I told that port number is 1521 and SID is ORCL in my laptop. What are the database that is installed in my laptop? The database is running on the port number 1521 and the database has a SID called ORCL, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
your laptop, how to identify that? What is the on what port number database is running and on what is the SID of the database, correct?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what you have to do is just go to when you install the Oracle, it is installed in C drive app. I think product 11.2.0. So this is the folder it will be installed. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the folder where the database is installed in my in everyone's laptop, obviously. So it will always go to the C drive app and your username. Whatever the username you have in your laptop, that is the username, and it will have product 11.2.0 and db home underscore one, whatever it is. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the place where the Oracle database is installed. This is the place where the Oracle database is installed. Getting it?
Yes.
I told
Mm.
that in the first class I asked you to install the Oracle database, correct? You install the
Yeah.
Oracle database and it will be installed in this place. So
Yeah.
here you can go and find in this folder, you can go and find star dot Aura, star.aura. There's a file holder. So I want to find all the files whose extension is .aura, .aura, because the files, for example, text files will have .txt, Word document have .doc, correct? The image files have .jpg, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And similarly, the Java files have .java, correct? Similarly, when you install Oracle, so they will .aura files. Getting it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there are so many .aura files, but I am interested in tns names.aura file. I am interested in tns names.aura file. So all these files are installed when you install the database. Getting it? When
Yes.
you
Yes.
install the database, when you install the Oracle database in your laptops, so all these files came by default. Getting it? As part of the installation. So now go and open the tns names.aura. TNS names.aura. Here you can see that the port number is 1521, correct?
Yeah.
And here you can see that this is the SID ORCL. SID, this is the service name or SID, whatever it is. It is ORCL. It is ORCL and the port number is 1521. This is the port number on which my database is running. And this is the SID, this is the service name, this is the service name of my database. Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you can go and find the TNS names.aura in your laptop and open the Aura file and see what is the port number and what is the service name.
Yeah.
Getting it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think you're learning too much today, or do you want me to break this class for now? See, in this class, I told you what is a primary key, how to create a primary key, okay, how to alter the definition of a table and add the primary key constraint, and then I told you how to download the SQL Developer Client, and I told you how to connect to the Oracle database by using a SQL Developer Client, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you're connecting it, you have to give the SID and you have to give the port number. So how to find the port number and how to find the SID, that you can go and find it in the TNS names.aura file.
Yeah. Ours is also, mine is also 1521. The port number is
For
1521.
in every laptop, by default, the Oracle will be running on the port number 1521.
And the service name is service ID
ORCL. Huh?
ORCL.
Yeah,
ORCL.
that is by default. You'll get in everyone's laptop when you install it. You'll get the service name as ORCL and you'll get the port number as 1521. By default, the Oracle will be the Oracle database runs on the port number 1521 and it will be identified with the service name ORCL by default.
Okay.
So, but if you want to know how to find that information, you can go and find it in the TNS names.aura file. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for example, in my application, see, I have so many connections, right? So right now, this is our production environment, and this is our development environment. Dev means development environment, and this is the QA environment. Okay, I have so many environments. So for example, to check out the production, so right click on properties. So this is the host name. This is the IP address. I mean IP address or host name, whatever it is. That this is the name of a mission where the database is installed. It is not installed in my local laptop, correct? My production database is there in a different laptop, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm connecting to this database and it is running on the port number 1522, not on the 1521. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the SID, and this is the username, and this is the password. So I can connect to this particular database, but right now I did not connect to VPN. That's a different story. But what I'm saying is you have to specify the username, you have to specify the password, you have to specify the host name, you have to specify the port number and SID. This is a different mission where the database is installed. I'm trying to connect to that particular database from my client, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, Ramji.
No.
No, Ram.
Okay, so to be frank, we did not learn much in this class. I just told about primary key and just told about SQL Developer download. That's all, correct?
Yeah.
We did not learn much in this class. So this is
Yes.
not, this speed is not sufficient. We have to increase the speed. if you want to complete the course on time. So if I have to increase the speed, you have to do the hard work first. I hope everyone understood what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes, Ramji.
So this is the hard work from today.
Yeah, Ramji.
Yes.
You have to go through the recordings, practice the recordings. You have to spend at least 3 hours apart from the classes. Apart from the classes, you have to spend at least 3 hours in the home for going to the recordings, because there are two recordings, right? Morning recording and evening recording, and you have to practice it, correct?
Okay.
You have to
Yeah.
spend at least 3 hours apart from the classes. Classes is for 3 hours and practice is for 3 hours, total 6 hours. I want you to spend 6 hours every day on the Java and this as part of for this training. If you spend that much of time and if you try to learn the things, then only it will work out. And you can't even imagine how much information I'm going to give you in the next 1 month. You can't even imagine that. I'm going to give you a lot of information. I'm going to tell you a lot of things. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that has to be possible, means you have to work hard, then only it will be possible. Otherwise I can't give you a lot of information if you're not able to take the input what I'm going to give you. So why will I tell so many things? Correct? I won't tell so many things. I'll cut short the things. I will leave so many things. I will leave so many topics. Then there is no use of this training. Correct?
Yes.
You should be in a position to take whatever I'm going to give you. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to work hard. Just forget about your student life. That's gone. Now you are entering into the professional life and you have to work hard to be successful in your career. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, Ramji.
Yeah. Bye. Bye everyone.
Good night, Ram.
Bye. Ram.
And
Morning.
tomorrow class is at 9 o'clock each time is fine, or 9:30 you want, that's your wish.
No, 9 should be better.
Is it fine?
8:30 is also good.
Even 8:30 is fine.
Okay. Let's meet at 9 o'clock in that case.
Okay. 1 hour class, no, Ramji?
Maybe 1.5 hour. Okay, we'll meet at 8:30. So if that is a concern, we'll meet at 8:30 to 10 o'clock. Okay?
Yeah, at
Okay.
8:30 is fine.
Yeah, 8:30 to 10. Class is at 8:30 to 10. Mehraj, do you have any problem?
No, Ramji.
Yeah, so 8:30 to 10 is the time. So this morning I faced difficulties to create the meeting. That's the reason I'm not able to take a class this morning. But I think that is sorted out now. So there will be no problems tomorrow morning. We'll have a class.
Okay, Ramji.
Yeah. Bye. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.